What's up, fellas? Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a while since I've done these videos, so just bear with me. This is live, so if I miss anything or if there's any confusion or whatnot, guys, please let me know at any point. Basically, the purpose of these is to get the information out to you guys as effectively and as simplistically as possible, guys, about the offense. Okay, the why of the offense, and why we do things, and what's our philosophy, what are our goals here. Okay, my goal, obviously, I want to be as simple but sophisticated as possible. Okay, we don't want to be a one-trick pony. All right, but also we don't want to have a million different things and just be mediocre at several things. I'd rather be great at a small amount of plays. All right, and eventually put some window dressing and some different formations and put some different motions and whatnot, and make it look complicated to the defense, but not complicated for us. So, yeah, just today we're going to just talk a little bit about, I guess we can call this like the foundation of the offense. Okay, just like the foundation of a house, you don't really see it all. I mean, it's obviously everything's built off of this. Okay, you add to it, add to it, add to it, add to it. But the most important part of your house, probably the most important part of your office, is your foundation, your principles. All right, that's where you can always fall back on and be secure and be able to make plays and whatnot. So this is the foundation, guys. Okay, this has been my philosophy for many years. Okay, this is we call this ace formation. All right, ace formation. Okay, so if you want to go by personnel, this would be considered like a 21 personnel formation. And what does that mean? A lot of kids don't know that. All right, 21 personnel. All right, two. That means there's two backs in the game. Okay, like a fullback type kid. All right, a little bit thicker, but still a good runner. And then you got a tailback kid. Okay, who's in the backfield, a little bit quicker, a little bit lighter on their feet, a little bit more shifty, but has the capability to make big plays. All right. The 21. One is the tight end. We have a tight end in the game. All right. And we want a tight end who can block. We want a tight end who can run adequate routes. We want a tight end who knows where to line up. Okay. And now don't get too bogged down into this. This is just a website, and they have these letters already predetermined on here. So, yeah, this would be the H. That is correct. Okay. So we would identify that fullback as the H back. We're going to identify the tight end as the Y, okay? The split end, that will be the X, okay? They have it as a Z. I think we have it as an S, which is a slot, okay? And obviously here we got the tailback, all right? They identify it as an F, okay? So the Y of this offense, all right? Why do you, hang your hat on it? Why do you believe in it strongly? I love it because it honestly forces defenses to make a decision. Okay, it's got the elements of spread and run heavy type wing T type plays like power, counter, buck sweep, jet, all that. Okay, so just by looking at this, guys, okay, defenses, they have to make a decision. They have, if you have two good athletes out here, which I know we do, all right, or we will have, okay, they have to honor that. Okay, they have to put guys over here. Okay, how many? We don't know. All right, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw up like a 4-4 defense right now. Okay, so they're probably going to align. Like I said, they have to make a decision because you got a tight end over here. You got a wing over here who's an H-back. He's a thicker kid, a blocker. Okay, you get the tailback here. All right, it is run heavy. It looks run heavy over here. Okay, but you just can't completely sell out to the run to stop it over here. You got to be able to play defense out here too. Okay, so defense is going to have to make a decision. So we're going to line up just in a 4-4 right here, guys. Okay, so we're going to put the D end. We'll just put him just head up to the tight end. All right, I call it a 6. Okay, head up, a 6 technique. This is going to be a 3 technique right here. 3 technique is a defensive lineman that's lined up from the outside shade of the guard. Okay, this is going to be a 1 technique right here. A 1 technique is a defensive tackle that lines up between the center and the guard. Okay, and then we're going to have a 5 technique out here as the other defensive end. Okay, so let's just go to the receivers over here, guys. All right, so we're going to have a corner over here. All right, let's just put him at about 7 yards. All right, off of number 1. okay? We can put him at inside, a little bit inside leverage right there. No, we'll go outside leverage right there, okay? We're going to put the safety. Well, actually, let's like I said, line up in a 4-4. Okay, so now we got the cornerback over here. Cornerback, obviously, is eyeing up number one. He's the number one receiver. We got the cornerback right there. He's not going to be, too much into the box because obviously he doesn't want the back to run right past him up the field. All right, so we're going to put the corner right there. All right, we are going to put this linebacker right here, this outside linebacker, or strong safety, whatever you want to call it. We're going to put him right inside leverage on number 2, probably about 5 yards off the ball right there. Okay, let's go one high. Okay, so they're going to play a free safety right here, about 10 to 12, I'd say probably 12 yards off the ball right there. Okay, key in the quarterback's eyes. All right, running the alley on run plays. Okay, now let's put this we'll just call him, this is the, we'll call him like the Sam linebacker. Okay, these are your 2 inside linebackers right here. Okay, these are the guys that are just going to plug the A gaps and B gaps. Right, that's what they're for. Okay, and they can have the ability to run sideline to sideline. This is the strong side linebacker right here. Okay, the Sam, some teams call it. Okay, so he's just going to line up probably a little bit outside shade of the H. Okay, at linebacker, probably going to hug the line of scrimmage right here, and that will probably force the corner to be back a little bit. Okay, so there's kind of so you're in the box. What do I got? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the big part of we put a lot of responsibility on the quarterback, a lot. Okay, and obviously we have a smart kid who's played a lot of football. All right, and the key is knowing how many guys do we have blocking, how many guys in the box. Sometimes they're going to be in spread. Sometimes they're going to be in empty. Okay, we have to count the box. Okay, so the first thing I've told the quarterbacks, and whatever's easy for them to understand, I just tell the quarterbacks, pre-snap, we're going to take a picture of the goalpost. All right, we're going to look straight down the field, right at the goalpost, because that's going to tell you a lot. All right, so is it a closed secondary? All right, does that mean is it one high? Okay, if it's one high, that might alert me that there might be a lot of guys in the box. Okay, if it's too high, that might be a good opportunity to either throw the ball in the middle of the field on a passing concept. We have definitely, if there's 2 safeties, it could be a cover 4, could be a cover 2. Okay, and we have passing concepts that are pretty effective against both of those coverages. Okay, and then what we do, we're still looking at the goalpost. Now we're going to count the box because it's right in our field of vision right now. Okay, so I got 7 here in the box like we identified. It sounds like a lot. It would be a lot if we were running spread with no tight end and only 1 back. Okay, but we're an ace right now. We have 7 guys blocking. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then you got the back here. Okay, football. It's a tough. Obviously, it's a brutal game, but we can make it easy. We always want to have the number advantage. Okay, so if our 7 are against their 7, I like to think that at the end of the day, we can get a hat on a guy and make a play. Okay, but I also have to look at the fact that, hey, we got 2 studs out here. Okay, guys that can stretch the field, guys that can run past the linebacker, guys that can run a slant, catch it, and get upfield and make a lot chunks of yards. We can take advantage of that as well. Okay, sometimes defenses will put the safety at about 10. They'll bring this backer out here, okay? They'll bring this backer in here, all right? Let's just put we'll put this backer right here. All right, you may get that look because obviously now we'll put the safety over number 2, sorry. All right. Now with that look, guys, this is cloudy, okay? Pre-snap, this is cloudy, all right? The quarterback's going to study the goalpost, okay? Take a picture of the goalpost. I got 2 high. They're both at 10 yards, okay. But I'm also seeing that I got an overhang guy over here. He's apexing, okay. So at the end of the day, guys, this is not a good matchup for the wide receivers to throw the ball, okay. This is cloudy. This is muddy, okay. But we're light in the box here, guys. We got 6 in the box, okay. If this guy wants to come down, all right. Cornerback's playing a little bit wider. If he wants to come down, now the middle of the field over here now it's no longer too high. Okay, so we can run the ball. Okay, we can throw the ball on a post over the middle. Okay, whatever we want to do. Okay, so kind of just how you identify defenses. Okay, so let's just put him back there. All right, Let's just go with the first. All right, let's install our first play out of this, guys. Ace right. All right, so if you hit ace right, that's the other thing. Okay, guys, you hit ace right. I'm a tight end. I know if I hit ace right, if that's the call, I'm going to line up as a tight end. I'm going to be about 2.5 yards outside of the tackle. Okay, here's my H. We're going to be 1 by 1 outside the tight end. All right, on certain plays, other plays will be inside. Okay, but on this play, guys, we're going to call this play 21 buck. 21 buck. This will be our first play that we install. Okay, so 21 buck. Let's just put out that original 4-4 defense up, guys. Okay, so let's just put him right here. That's your outside linebacker. All right, let's put this guy in center field. All right, as the free safety. Let's bring this guy back down into the box here. All right, let's put the cornerback right here. Okay. So right here, you got 7 in this, so 21 buck. Okay, so let's just talk about the where we got the numbers and the play direction and whatnot. Okay, so 21. If you hear 20, that means the tailback's getting the ball. I'm trying to make this easy. 20, that means the tailback is getting the ball. Okay, predetermined. All right, there's no option in this here. Okay, he's the ball carrier. Okay, 1 means that it's going to the right. Okay. If you hear buck, okay, that's the thing. So for an offensive lineman, okay, this is where we got to use a little bit of our good thinking skills here, guys. So you hear buck, you need to just put this in your head. If you hear buck, gap, down, back. If you're on the right, 21, all right, and you're on the right side, we are all blocking. Well, the H, sorry, the H, the Y, and the tackle are all blocking the first hip inside of them. Okay, well, what does that mean? All right, well, let's move him out just a little bit. All right, so gap, that's the famous term, guys, okay? Gap, down, backer. All right, gap, down, backer. What does that mean? That means on the play side, you're going to block the first person who's inside in the gap inside you. If there's nobody inside you in the gap, then you're going to block down. You're going to look down. The next D lineman down. Okay, if there's nobody down, then you go to linebacker. Okay, sounds like a mouthful. Let's just take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so if I'm the H, all right, I'm running 21 buck. I know that the play is going to be running a little bit outside of me. Okay, it's not your traditional outside jet sweep. Okay, we're trying to hit this thing right off the tight end. Okay, right here. All right, so 21 buck. We're going to block the first first defender inside of us. All right. Is there anybody in the gap? No. But is there somebody down? Yes, there is. Okay, he is down. He's on the line of scrimmage, and he's the first hip inside of me. I'm going to block him down, just like that, okay? If I'm the tight end, same rule applies to me. Gap, is there anybody in the gap? No. Is there anybody down? No, there isn't anybody down, okay? Because the next technique is the 3 technique. That means I go to linebacker. Okay, the first linebacker that shows that can defend the play. All right, I'm blocking down that linebacker. Okay, he may scrape across, he may fill. Okay, if he scrapes across, we don't chase him. Okay, then we just continue our path to that next linebacker. If he fills, obviously he can defend the play. I'm going to pick him up. Okay, but gap down backer, gap down backer. Okay. This tackle, anybody in the gap? Yes, there is. There's a 3 technique right in the gap. I'm going to block him down. Okay, so there's my play side right there. You hear buck. Okay, we're pulling both guards to the play side. All right, 20, the back is getting it. That doesn't mean anything for the offensive line. 1, it's going to the right. Buck, that's the concept. That's the blocking scheme. Okay, buck, we pull both guards. Okay, now this guard right here. We want to get just a little bit of, not a lot, okay? You don't want to be, it's not a downhill trap pull, okay? We're opening up our right hip, okay? We're getting a little bit of depth, a little bit, not much, okay? Because let's just say that this D-line, sometimes it's not a perfect world. If this D-lineman flies up the field, okay, and then the H-back meets him right here, we don't want to have the guard run into him and cause a pile and have the back bounce it out and to the free hitter to the ball. Okay, we're getting a little bit of depth, all right, and then we're blocking what I call force. All right, well, what's force? Force is every defense has a force player. You're forcing the play inside. You don't just concede the sideline. Okay, It could be this corner here. It could be this linebacker here, but we're blocking force. So there's our down block by the H-back. There's our force kick out right there by the play side guard, okay? Center knows the rule is back to on, back to on. First, he has to look back. On 21 buck, we're going to look back. Who's the first defender back? It's that one technique right there, okay? The left guard is pulling as well, okay? This is the key. They're all key blocks, but this is the key for the tailback, okay? Now we're coming right across, okay? We're getting our hips down. We'll open up our right hip, okay? We're coming right across the line of scrimmage. You know, we're hugging it, hugging it, hugging it. There's my kick out. There's my down block. I want to get my shoulder pads north and south right here on the first defender, off-color defender right there, okay? He is wrapping right there on that linebacker right there, okay? But when we're pulling, when we pull and we get through the line of scrimmage right here, we're always looking inside, like head up to inside, head up to inside. If guys fly outside, if the defensive guys fly outside, if the free safety runs the alley, okay, flies outside, we're running up inside of that, okay? The left tackle, all right, obviously what we're going to do here, all right, if this guy is showing heat, all right, if that guy's showing heat, we're going to step into the B gap first. If he's not showing heat, obviously we're just going to base that end right there, okay, and just not let him cross our face, okay. Back, okay, so quarterback, we're 5 yards from the heels of the center, okay. When we're running buck, we want the tailback not to be behind the quarterback. We want to basically have, I would just say that the tailback's toes are lined up to the heels of the quarterback, no deeper than that. Okay, because you're crossing face really with the quarterback right here. All right, we're taking the snap. All right, quarterback's presenting the ball to the back. Okay, he wants to go lateral first. We're not going downhill. Okay, because if we go downhill, we're not going to be able to follow our blocks here on buck. Okay, we're getting the ball here. All right, we're stepping, opening up our right hip. We're stepping lateral, almost stepping on the toes of the quarterback. Quarterback is just going to flash his eyes to that defensive end right there, okay, or linebacker, okay. Let's just say linebacker right there, okay, because that's going to open up if we run an RPO out of this, okay. Right here, all right, lateral. So now my eyes, the tailback right here, I am following. A lot of teams, when they run this play, they put a towel on the back of the left guard's pants, and what they do is the back, when he gets the ball, he wants to hug that, he wants to get behind that block, because that is what they call touchdown alley right here, all right? We want to follow the lead, that backside guard, all right? So far, we want to get right up on him, all right, so where we can pull that towel off, all right? And we're following his block, okay? He ends up kicking him out. We're repping up and in, okay? So that's the thing. We want to follow that backside guard on buck sweep, on buck, all right, 21 buck right here, okay? Over here, as we get more proficient at this, guys, we're going to run an RPO out of it. So this is 21 buck. If we called 31 buck peak, that's nothing changes for the offensive line. It's an RPO. It's run, pass option. Okay, it's not a PRO. It's not a pass and then run. No. All right, so that's the beauty of that. So 21 buck, okay, predetermined, back's getting the ball. If we notice that this guy right here, all right, this guy right here, if he's flying to the ball, okay, guys, the beauty of an RPO, I'm not going to say I'm an expert at it, but the beauty of the RPO, guys, it protects your run game. All right, are you throwing it some? Yes, you are throwing it, but at the end of the day, it protects your run game. Okay, so 21 buck, obviously it's a buck to the tailback to the right. 31 buck peak. 30 is your RPO series. 20 is the tailback getting the ball series. 30 is your RPO series. Okay. 10s are your quarterback series. Okay. 40s are your wing or your slot getting the ball on a jet or whatnot, or a rocket series. All right, that's 40. Trying to make it easy, guys, okay? So there's buck, but if we want to attach the RPO to it, if this guy flies downhill, all right, he really opens it up. He's aggressive, and that's fine. Defenses are, okay? We're just going to use that against him because you got to think that he's going to run the alley as well. Okay, the free safety is going to run the alley on when he sees two pulls and a back run action, all right, with the quarterback, he's going to run that alley. That should open up right here, guys. And Coach Jackson will coach you guys up on the RPOs, the spacing, where you want to end up. So if we want to take that away from him, quarterback's going to disconnect from the back. All right, he's going to disconnect from the ball, and he's going to throw that thing hot right over where that linebacker was. That's where we want to throw the ball. If the quarterback feels it's cloudy, if he feels it's cloudy, and it's not a perfect world, guys, okay, and let's just say that the free safety comes over, okay, the quarterback's not going to make a bad decision. That's the whole thing about being a great quarterback. You got to make great decisions, okay? You got to be a great athlete, be a great runner, great passer, but you got to make great decisions, okay? We will have another guy coming over here, okay, as that safety net, all right, thrown right across there, guys, okay? So right here, I'm going to just, I'm going to give you guys another video. We'll throw it to the left. Maybe I'll throw up a different defense, guys, okay? This is ace right, okay? We talked about the philosophy. Just to wrap this up, we talked about the philosophy of ace, the personnel of ace, why we do it, okay? And then we put in our first run play out of ace. Buck, 21 buck is a buck sweep to the right. Don't worry about the word sweep. It's not really a traditional sweep. We'll just call it buck. And then we obviously tagged an RPO to it. That's my goal as a coach. That's our goal as a staff, guys, okay? Our run plays, we want to protect our runs by attaching a simple RPO to it. That's a simpler read, nothing simple in football, but simpler read for the quarterback, and nobody has to change a thing up front. Nothing changes up front, guys, okay? That's the whole thing. Let's put 10 run plays, but if you have an RPO to it, okay, you got motions to it, doesn't look like 10 plays to the defense. Could be like 40 to 50 that they have to account for. So hit me up with questions, please. That's what we're here for, guys. All right. I'm gonna put another video up running the same exact scheme to the left. All right. Thank you.